If you are a creative freelancer in LA, federal income taxes may not be the only thing you need to worry about.
In today's episode, we'll be talking about the City of LA business tax rules, regulations, and all things creatives need to know.
Let's get fiscal. Let's get fiscal. Make it make sense. Money moves smarter when the numbers click.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today, I thought it would be fun to talk about creatives in Los Angeles and different tax things that can relate to being a creative in one of the most creative cities of the U.S. Yeah, because it comes with some fun stuff that most of the time when I'm talking to new clients, they had no idea about.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the city of LA has its own tax. So when you file your tax return, normally you're like, okay, let me get my, the return for the IRS. Let me send a return to the state of California. But you might not know that if you have a business, you also need to file some stuff with the city of LA, which is completely outside of all of your regular tax workflow. It's just like this extra compliance piece. And yeah, like you said, a lot of people are just, I've never heard of this before.
Yeah.
That's fine. They'll find you.
They come at us with a letter later like, hey, we saw you filed your tax return and it looks like you should have been doing this whole time. So they do send out little they're like highlighter color postcards, I think, to people. And a lot of time people think they're spam, doesn't really take it legitimately, but it is like a real thing.
I know. And the most annoying part is that if you have a business and you work more than 3 days within the limits of the city of LA, which is not only just Los Angeles, there's also other jurisdictions. So they're more looking at the incorporated area of the city of Los Angeles. And you work more than 3 days in that location, they will tax you. But if you make under $100,000 and you file this return on time, then you don't have to pay anything.
Yeah.
So a lot of times what ends up happening is we have business owners that maybe they've been making $20,000 and it's really hasn't been a big thing, but they are still filing it as a true business, not as a hobby or anything like that. So even though they earn $20,000 and they might have lost money.
Yeah.
But the city of LA taxes it on your gross receipts. So it's your income before any of your expenses. And then they'll just sit there and they'll wait for them to pile up. And so you think okay, I earned $20,000. I spent all of it. There was zero profit. And now I have to pay this $50 bill to the city of LA when if I had known about this and filed it on time, I wouldn't have owed anything at all.
And they do penalties and interest on top of it if you're a couple years behind as well.
Right.
So it gets more and more expensive when you don't do it. But yeah, that time thing is really what they get them on because usually, because you can't, if you file afterward, you can't actually do the exemption. So you have to pay a tax based off of the gross income and there's no workaround.
Right.
So,
Right.
Exemptions are only available if you do it on time.
And then so any business, any type of business automatically gets that $100,000 exemption. And it is looking at worldwide income. So that's kind of where they're deciding whether you qualify for the exemption. So they will only tax the income that you earn within the city limits. So if you fly to New York and you shoot a wedding out of New York, they're not going to tax that money. But they are going to add it in to see if you qualify for this $100,000 exemption. But if you are in a creative space, then that exemption jumps to $300,000.
Which is really nice.
So actors, writers, all of those fun,
They have a list online what they consider the creatives of it.
Right.
But yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but again, if you wait one extra day, then that exemption completely goes away, and now you end up having to pay for it. And it also kind of goes the opposite way, because once you make $300,000 and $1, just $1 over the threshold, that full $300,000 gets taxed.
Yeah.
So it can
knowing
be
that in advance
right,
as well.
right.
Be like, you know what? Maybe I won't take that last job. Like, I'm just on the precipice.
I know, yeah. Because it is, like
Yeah.
$290, you don't have to pay anything. But once you get to 301, then like now you have a $3,000 tax bill
Yep.
over to the city of LA. And like I said, what makes it even more confusing is that, I mean, really, you have to go onto their website and search your address to confirm where you actually are. Because what I've learned kind of like in my history with property management is, so they'll give you all of the zip codes, but zip codes generally tie you to the local post office. And so the local post office could be in Venice, but you could actually be in, like in a completely different town. And so we'll see that split happen, like especially in Beverly Hills, because City of Beverly Hills has their own tax. So it's not even just like within the city. There's also other little cities that have compliance, like City of Santa Monica has their own thing. City Pasadena has their own thing. Like a lot of these cities have their own compliance requirements. And when you look up the zip code, it might say, oh, yes, you are part of LA. But if you look at your address itself, it would say, hey, actually, it's you're part of Beverly Hills, and you need to go and speak with the city of Beverly Hills instead of the city of Los Angeles. And it can get to be kind of a whole mess.
Well, also the due date for it is the last day of February, and is it every 4 years? When are leap years? Are those 4, or is that every other year? Like knowing when they end? When are leap years? So like, God forbid you forget and you think, oh, this is the year that there's a 29, and then you end up on the 28th. So it's like, why do we pick the 1 month that like occasionally changes how many days there are? Just like they're tricky. They're out there, man.
Right. And it's not something that they will necessarily, I don't think they advertise it too much.
No.
And because it's, it's very easy for you to just get a 1099 and say like, okay, I'm, like here's $2,000 or something that I got on a 1099. You put it on that Schedule C to claim it as a business, and you claim your expenses and everything, and then you don't think about it again. The city of LA goes through and they search all of their addresses and they'll send you a letter. So the number of times that people are saying like, hey, is this real? Is this real? And what they'll do too is they basically assign a dollar amount to you because they know all of it. And then so now you're getting calls from collection agencies asking for you to pay this dollar amount, and you don't even know where did that come from? This? What is this? Is this even real? How do So that's where you really, really want to be careful, and it just kind of goes to show that you do want to look into the city that you're living in, because a lot of the cities, they will have different ordinances. So either this like fully fledged business tax where you have to file a return every single year, or maybe they have like a home occupation license that you have to do. So every city is going to be a little bit different. Some of them will only say like, okay, just register your business and then you're perfectly fine. But it's definitely one of the ways where cities can kind of come back and penalize you later on. And that's really where they can like generate a decent amount of money. So just being like really super hyper aware of these things, because it's one of the ways, I mean, again, if you filed it on time, you owe nothing. But if you're delayed, you could owe like a couple $100s. And it just feels kind of dumb to like just throw away money like that.
I think the other thing to also be careful is if you're signing up for it, making sure that you're picking the right category for what you are. So like that has been something that's been tricky, especially with people within like the film industry, because like with the production, they have a completely different type of setup than if you were just like a freelancer and you're just, you get your 1099 at the end and like that's that. that. So yeah, definitely that part, because
Right. Yeah.
even me, I do it and I like still read through every single option to make sure that I am picking
like
the
a whole
correct
chart, a map, and it's like weird.
Yeah, with the codes that are on the tax returns. Yeah, it's like a whole thing. So just like be careful, go slow, don't skim. While you're reading it.
I mean, like, they are very kind. They will help you. They will give you lots of information. But if you call them, like, it'll just say like, okay, you are number 1,457 in line, and we'll call you back when we can.
It's where they have like a team of 20 for the whole city. Yeah, it's like so little. Yeah.
I don't know. And like even their emails, they will answer emails. It's just they just get assigned out in like these random batches. So even like there's, you could email them one week and then follow up the next week, and then the second one will get answered before the first one will get answered, just depending on like how they were batched up and whose queue and what they were also dealing with. And that is a good point, because like it can be difficult to get a hold of them during the busy season. So like right at the end, if you're trying to set up your account, it doesn't always happen automatically. So then you can't go through the online system if you don't have the number and all of these different things. But what you need to do is you still have to notify them. So that's why they give you the paperwork so that you can fill it out and just mail it to them. Or you can also send them an email and say, like, this is my business. I created an account, or here's my account number. I'm having problems with the online system, but this is my information, and here's how much I made. And then that way you can still keep that $0 exemption.
Do it by the due date. You have to send that email by the due date.
Right. Because if you say like, oh, hey, I'm going to wait because, like their system broke down, or I didn't get all the information that I needed, so I didn't file it on time, like that's not sufficient. Because again, like I said, they have the things where you can print it out online. You have to notify them whether or not their online system is working. So that's another way where, like we'll kind of grab people and say, okay, we know it's going to take, 7 days to get you an account, and we're on like the 27th, but we're still going to like give them all of your information, send them an email, make sure they are notified, because once we have that like receipt of them knowing it, then they can backtrack and they can honor that $0. But if you just kind of don't do anything and you wait for them to give you the information, then they're gonna pull that exemption for you.
Another thing to be wary of is, because it's due in February, it means that you have to have all of your prior year financials done. You have to be able to know what is that gross income number. So like knowing that you have to file this thing means knowing that you also need to make sure that you have all your P's and Q's, like you have everything set up. Because
Right. And you also said like something really important about production companies, because if this is based on gross receipts and production companies are bringing in the production budget, that's not profit. That's just them doing a pass through. So not only does a production company need to be able to provide their income level, but they also need to provide cost of goods. What did they actually spend on production out of all of the money that they brought in? So it definitely means you want to be fairly quick on getting your financials sorted.
Yeah, because it's due in February. So that means you had 1 month after December, basically, to make sure that everything is good. So if you're being intentional and you're doing your stuff every month or every 6 months, like, then you'll probably be in a good spot. But like if you're one where you're like, oh, we'll look at that later, this could trip you up, because it'll be difficult to figure out what that amount actually is.
Yep. And I think too, we've seen where people are using like the wrong tax ID number for their account.
Yeah.
So like where they were a freelancer beforehand, and then they opened up an LLC, and then they're like, okay, it's the same business, I'm going to keep filing. Or, because the city of LA will let you use a DBA. So then, if you have a DBA that's this name and then you convert it to an LLC, it's still the same business name, same everything. But you want to be very specific about that tax ID number, because they'll send you, again, they get the tax return, they'll match up that tax ID number and that income to their system. And so they're seeing like a tax ID number that has income that's never filed, because it's all filing under your personal social still. So just really, really making sure that the information that you're giving them matches up, because otherwise they are going to audit it. They are going to send you a letter, and it's just going to cause like more money and more paperwork for your tax professional to be able to coordinate with them. And like that whole process can take a few months to get through.
For sure. I remember some clients where we had that happen. We were like, okay. Because then you have to basically prove, like, I was filing and I did do the thing. It's just all under this personal social instead of the EIN, and then making sure that that gets all updated. But yeah, because you need to have the social or your EIN, and then also like your address that you set up the account with to even use the online system. So you have to have like certain information that matches whatever your original information was to even like move forward. So keeping track of things like that, like where did you live 5 years ago? Like if you haven't changed, you haven't done a change of address, you got to remember those things, because that's how you're going to get in. So nope, that makes sense.
Yeah, and have a collection agency calling you and all that fun stuff. So so yeah, I mean, it's just another big piece where we want to make sure that we are filing this on time. We're filing it correctly. It's super nice and easy and straightforward. The biggest issue is just knowing that it exists, because it's just like really not 100% common knowledge.
It's really not.
Right.
Most of my calls, they had no idea. So So yeah. And it's a fun thing. And they like the account number when you get it, it's only the shortened version of it. And then there's a longer account number afterward. There's some fun things. Hire a professional, maybe. Just at least make sure you're all set up. And then you can probably handle it from there. But
right. They do have offices, and you can go down there and meet with them and everything. So like I said, they're not trying to create a difficult process. It's just they have a lot of things, a lot of businesses, a lot of people come through there. So it's just like such a high volume of stuff that, it can be a little bit tricky to get their attention, just because they're dealing with like literally tens and hundreds of thousands of people and all that fun stuff. So.
Super fun.
Yep. So while they are not in the busy season, it is the best time to reach out to them.
100%.
Do not call them in February. They will not answer.
They're not going to email you back probably either. Like you just got to get that like receipt that you sent an email, but like,
Yep. Go through, make sure you're in compliance, get that account, and, just again, while your business is growing, make sure that you're not wasting money on these silly mistakes.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was it for the City of LA business tax. Hopefully you have a few more questions. You can put a comment below or reach out to us, and we are more than happy to help you sort out all of that city
funness. Bye, guys.
That's it for this episode of Let's Get Fiscal. If this helped you see your business differently, follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast platform so the next episode is already waiting for you. And if a specific money question came up while you were listening, send it through the link in the show notes. Real listener questions help shape future episodes. You can also follow Let's Get Fiscal on social media for more tax tips, business finance breakdowns, and clips from the show. Until next time, keep building the business behind the work.